Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Sri Tips here. What I have is a collection of gold-filled material that we've been saving over time. What we're going to do here is get a weight on this stuff. Looks like we got 321 grams of gold-filled material. Let's transfer this gold-filled material into a strainer here. And now what we'll do is take this thing over. I'm going to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. Okay, this part really isn't all that necessary. I do it because I have the equipment to do it. We just ultrasonic and then steam clean it. Now we'll take it out, start the recovery. Here we go. With this amount of gold-filled material, it's going to take about 1 liter of nitric acid to pull all the silver and base metals out of here. So let's go ahead and first thing we're going to do is burn this stuff. Incinerate to redness. I'm heating the material to redness until all the smoke stops coming off of it. I want to avoid melting it so that it doesn't alloy with the base metals and make the refining more difficult. I'm adding about half a liter, 3/4 of a liter of distilled water. Now we'll pour the incinerated gold-filled material down into the beaker. Just dump it right on in. Now what we'll do is measure out about 200 milliliters of nitric acid. And what I'll do is just go ahead and pour this right on in to kick the reaction off. I don't have any heat going yet. We'll let this react so we don't bubble up over the top of the beaker. I'm using a large 4-liter beaker to make sure that I don't have a runaway reaction that spills over the top of the beaker. Got the reaction to commence, and it's calmed down a little bit from those 200 milliliters of nitric that I added. So we're going to start dialing in some heat. Here I've rigged up a nitric acid delivery apparatus. It's just a separatory type funnel with 500 milliliters of nitric acid in it. And the reason I got it set up like this is so that I can drip the acid in real slow without having to sit here and babysit it. So we're going to start a little bit of nitric acid flow now down into our reaction. I think we've got pretty much all the base metals out of here now. What I'm going to do is add another 200 milliliters of nitric acid. And that should take us up to 7 plus 2 is 9, about 1,100 milliliters. I'm going to go ahead and dump this right on in now. Here we go. gold filled material is usually a thick coating of karat gold over base metal, usually brass, but there is a little bit of silver in there also. Plus, I added some gold-plated silver items to this group for the refining. And so now what we're doing is using this hot dilute nitric acid to pull all the silver and all the base metals out and just leave the gold foils behind. Here's a look at our gold-filled material. This is all going to be hollow shells of karat gold, retaining the shape of what they used to be when they were gold-filled items. Piece of solid right there, that thimble. That might be karat gold. I'm going to transfer the solids into a smaller beaker to make it a little easier to handle. Gonna add a little bit of distilled water. A little bit more nitric acid. I'm gonna set this back up on the heat and boil it a little while longer in some fresh nitric acid, just to make sure that we've got all of the base metals out of there. Still got a little bit of fumage going on, but I think we've got everything now. We'll pull this down off the heat and let this cool down. Need to make some room in my flask down here. This blue liquid's going to have a whole bunch of silver in it, so we need to empty this out. Now what we can do is go ahead and filter our solution out of this beaker up here, this last nitric acid boil. And what we'll do is try to transfer all the solids now out of this beaker and into this funnel. here's a look down inside the beaker. That's our prize right there. That is our gold foils from this gold-filled material. While we wait for this liquid to pull through here, what we'll do now is go ahead and drop the silver out of this solution. I'm going to add some hydrochloric acid and just precipitate out the silver chloride out of this solution. Should be quite a bit of it here. Let's give this thing a stir. I did add a few pieces of gold-plated silver jewelry to this batch of gold-filled material, and that, I believe, is why we have so much silver in this blue liquid. Once this settles completely, I'll rinse all the blue liquid off of it, add the silver chloride to my silver chloride storage jar, and process it later for the pure silver it contains. Got all the liquid pulled off this gold-filled material. These are just gold foils of what they, in the shapes of what they used to be. So now what we're going to do is take this material out of this funnel, filter paper like this. I'm going to put it in our melt dish here. Let's turn our furnace on. This is a very important step. You cannot skip this step if you're doing this. If you do, then I guarantee you your yields will suffer. If you don't have a furnace like I have here, then you can put it in a melt dish and just carefully burn it. But you must incinerate these foils before we go ahead and put them in the aqua regia. All right, we're almost there. I'm gonna leave it in there a little while longer until that dish turns red. Oh yeah, we're glowing red now. And if you don't have a furnace, what you can do is put this in a melt dish and use a low volume propane flame and burn these pieces to redness. If you don't do this, I promise you, your yield will suffer. Here's our incinerated gold foils. I've got one piece here that's kind of suspect. It's solid. I'm not quite sure what that is. I don't think it's gold. There's another piece, not sure what that is. Might be steel. And here's the other side of that. That was off a watch band. It's these three pieces, this thimble, these two watch band ends, got a magnet here, and they do not appear to be magnetic. Take this over here and perform a test. Oh, wait a minute, it's crumbling. Crumbled to pieces here. Thought it was solid, but it is crumbled to pieces. Not sure what that is. These pieces. Try to do a scratch test on this. It's a watch band. The end of a watch band. Scratch some material. looks like white metal to me. Should be a gold color if it was gold. Adding some 14K test acid. I looked at this scratch test with a magnifier, and that metal is white. If it was gold, it would be a gold color. So I think what we'll do is exclude these pieces from this group. I don't think these are gold. You've got to be careful on what goes into the acid here in this next step, because if you get a piece of gold-plated junk metal in here, it can form some strange precipitates and create problems. So we want to be very discriminative when we select our metal for this refining. I'm measuring out about 250 milliliters of hydrochloric acid. And what we'll do is just dump this right on in. Here's our gold-filled stuff in our beaker. Put a cover on it. Now we're going to set it up here on the heat. Add a little bit of heat. Some nitric acid. And what we'll do is measure out about, let's see, 50 milliliters of nitric acid. Go ahead and dump that right on into the reaction now. See if we can get this stuff to go into solution. I think we've got everything dissolved. It's going to dissolve. And I've got the solution evaporated down, driven off all the excess nitric. I'm going to pull this down, let it cool off. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to add a squirt of sulfuric acid, take care of any lead that may be present. I'm going to rehydrate the solution. A little bit of hydrochloric acid. Get down in here with a little piece of filter paper, check some of our solution, and just verify that we've got gold in solution. Dark stain means gold in solution. what's left in the filter. So let's go ahead and get this taken apart now. Transfer our solution to a clean beaker. I'm only expecting about 10 grams, a third of an ounce or so from this. So now we're going to drop the pure gold out of this green liquid with some stump out. Here we go. I'm going to put a spoon of it in right now. Here we go. Get in here and get some of this solution on a piece of filter paper. Do a stannous test. There you can see that negative stannous test. All the gold has been precipitated. I'm going to move this up onto some heat over here. Let's boil this. See if we can get that gold to settle out for us. Kind of hard to tell what's going on inside this dark solution. Got it settled out. So it's down off the heat. Let it cool down. All right, here's what our gold looks like down in the beaker. Now I'll rinse it over and over with some hot distilled water. I'm going to add some hydrochloric acid. And we're going to boil the gold for a few minutes with hydrochloric acid. Gonna add some more hydrochloric acid. It's a little over 100 milliliters. Set up our heat source. Start applying a little bit of heat here. Add a few drops of sulfuric acid, just in case we got any lead that made it this far. I'm gonna add about 6 milliliters of nitric acid. Should be enough to completely dissolve all this gold. Should only be about 10 grams of pure gold in here. Took about 6 minutes to dissolve completely. I'll leave it on heat here for a little while and drive off any excess nitrate that might still be in there. I'm pretty sure we got all the excess nitric, if any, out of here now. Pull it down, let it cool off. That solution is just a touch cloudy, so what we'll do is go ahead and pour it through the same filter for a second pass. Still has just a hint of cloudiness, so I think what we'll do is go ahead and pour it back through the same filter a third time. I think we got it now. The solution is nice and clear. No traces of cloudiness. So what we'll do is transfer this solution now into another beaker. Here's the filter. It's got some silver chloride in it. I'm not going to rinse it down into our solution because the silver chloride is slightly soluble in water. Transfer our gold solution now to a clean beaker. Stannous test. We got golden solution by that dark stain. I've got some ferrous sulfate that I prepared here. And what we're going to do is just go ahead and dump some of this right on in to our gold solution and precipitate out the gold with ferrous sulfate. Here we go. Give this a swirl to mix it all up real good. Get in here and get another Stannous test. Make sure we got everything out of solution. There you can tell by that negative Stannous test, all the gold has been precipitated. We've got this to settle out completely. Now we're going to pour off this waste liquid. into a temporary waste container. Multiple hot distilled water rinses. Adding some hydrochloric acid. Now what we'll do is set it up on the heat over here. Give this a boil. And some hydrochloric acid. Let's pour this hydrochloric acid rinse off. Here's our little piece of gold that we just recovered and refined out of that gold-filled material. I can see my reflection in it. Gorgeous. Let's see what we got here for weight on this thing. We're expecting about 10 grams. Let's call it 11.7. 11.7 grams of pure gold, which is a little bit more than we were expecting. We'll take it. Let's see what that calculates to be as far as the yield is. We have 11.7 divided by the material we started with, 321 grams, equals, so that's 3.6% from that gold filled material. All righty. This will conclude the video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching.